And now we continue our conversation with Senate President Steve Sweeney.
Let's talk about the Jersey Shore. People are excited about the Jersey Shore this summer because all the rentals are basically sold out. I was just talking to you a moment ago, and you told me there's a waiting list at some of the hotels down the Jersey Shore right now. They can't get anybody to work. What do you believe the reason is that nobody's going back to work?
It's two things, Larry. Everyone wants to point to the extra money for unemployment, but I believe the bigger problem is people coming off of unemployment and then trying to get back on it if something doesn't work out. Like, I'm an iron worker by trade, you know that. My guys collect unemployment in between jobs. So if you take a job now and say it lasts a month and then you're done, and then it's going to take you 5 months to get back on unemployment, you're not going to risk it, Larry. You know, my phones in this office still ring off the hook because they can't get their unemployment claims. My neighbor knocked on my door. It was sometime in December, beginning of December, and, knocked on my door. Can you help me get my unemployment? I haven't gotten unemployment, and it was in May. You know what I'm saying, Larry? So I really believe it's twofold. One, I'm making more money not to work. And two, if I take that job and say something happens that doesn't work out, then how do I get back on unemployment? But there's supposed to be a means test that you're actively seeking employment when you're on unemployment. You know that. That's
no. And other states now are passing legislation to enforce that, because really it has not been enforced across the country. And what they're saying is you have to show proof that you were seeking employment the week before you collect.
Well, I think that
would New Jersey do something like that?
We don't have to pass the law. It's already the law. They have to enforce it. Larry, they really have to go back to enforcing it. And look, there was a tsunami that hit us like we've never seen. And look, besides all the workers that, paid into unemployment, then we had all the independent contractors that never paid into unemployment that were getting unemployment. So you had another whole load, or hundreds of thousands of people that would have never qualified that were thrown into the mix. I'm not making excuses for the slowness and the sluggishness of the process, because if you heard the people, it's not acceptable. But I really think the other piece of this is people afraid to be able to get back on unemployment once that employment expires. So
the interesting thing that is happening, and I'm going to take it that you're saying that there really is no state solution for this. It's just going to have to work itself out. And part of it is because there's people that are raising salaries right now up and down the Jersey Shore to try to entice people to come back. And so the minimum wage was set at $15. It's going there itself.
Well, Larry, I think the solution is that they enforce the employment test, that people actively seek and search for employment. We see too many signs, help wanted. We just see too many help wanted signs everywhere to have this many people unemployed. And as you said, wages are going up because employers are desperate to get employees. And look, I sponsored the minimum wage. I did the bill. So I believe in that. But my point is, we need people to get back to work. We absolutely need them to get back to work. And they should have to demonstrate, people should have to demonstrate that they're seeking employment, because right now you got a lot of people that are sitting home that are not.
Who makes the state enforce a law that's been around for a long time and has not been enforced?
The Department of Labor does, the Commissioner of Labor.
So the governor over the Department of Labor that would tell them.
Well, it's the department. Again, everything stops. The buck stops with the governor. Obviously, the governor is the governor. He's in charge. And I don't know what conversations that he's had with his commissioner. But I think the employment means test is important, seeking employment, because there's just too many people saying help wanted and these jobs going empty. And down the shore, it's even worse, because we always had an influx of young people from Europe that it only magnified the crisis that we have down there right now.
Right, all the consulates and embassies are closed, so they can't get the visas to come over. I know that's a huge problem as well. I wanted to ask you one last political question, and it has to do with New Jersey. As you know, seems to be a bellwether state because you have an off-year election, and you can kind of see trends ahead of the midterm elections. Something's fascinating is happening on the Republican side, where Jack Ciattarelli seemed like he was going to just stroll to this nomination. And that's not the case. It's tightened up. He has to spend money to fight back Hirsch Singh, who's nobody really saw coming. And it seems like the determining factor in this is support for Donald Trump. First of all, do you agree with that analogy?
1,000%. Larry, you're seeing it nationally. You see the Republican Party right now, it's the party of Donald Trump. It hasn't stopped, it's gotten stronger. And, Hirsch Singh is Trump on steroids. And Chitterelli, he was never really that strong and supportive of Trump's policies. I heard some of the debate. I'm a political junkie. I listened to some of it. It's surprising. And I've actually heard in some polls, Singh's up a little bit. It's going to be interesting that Jack is having to spend money in a primary. And look, Jack's a friend of mine. I've worked with him in the legislature, but it's really interesting that he's spending money in the primary that he could probably use in the general in order to win. But you got to win the primary to be in the general.
Yeah, he has every county endorsement. He has the top line in every county. And I heard that Hirsch Singh's internal poll puts him up 3 points. And I guess what I'm looking at is next year, anybody that thinks Donald Trump has gone away in the Republican Party, he still has major influence, even when he doesn't show up and endorse anybody. It's just, do you support him or don't you support him? That's become a new litmus test.
Without question, it's if you're with Trump, for the Republican Party, for the majority right now, they're with you. If you're not, they don't have anything to do with you. How about Mitt Romney being booed?
Oh, I know.
Of all people, Mitt Romney being booed, and you see what happened to Liz Cheney. If you ever wanted to see a true conservative, it's Liz Cheney, and they knocked her out. So they're flexing their muscles, and Donald Trump is the 800-pound gorilla of the Republican Party, and he isn't going away. He's definitely not going away. Now, for Democrats, that's good for us.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time.
New Jersey Senate President Steve Sweeney, next on Jersey Matters.
As the COVID-19 pandemic slowly improves, nursing homes are allowing more freedom for residents and their families. More on that story next.